Breaking news out of Utah, the Republican-backed effort to repeal the state's anti-gerrymandering law is dead. It's not going to be on November's ballot. I'm Brian Schott with Utah Political Watch. If you want to keep up to date with the latest news about Utah politics, hit that like and subscribe button. So a group called Utahns for Representative Government spent months and millions of dollars collecting signatures to put a repeal of Proposition 4 on November's ballot. Prop 4 is Utah's voter-approved anti-gerrymandering law. It created an independent redistricting commission to draw maps so that politicians can't rig their own elections. Well, UFRG cleared the bar. They hit the signature threshold in the required 26 of the state's 29 state Senate districts. They were in, but opponents launched a signature removal campaign. This is completely legal in Utah. Voters who sign an initiative petition can take their name back within a certain window. You just have to submit a request. Those opponents didn't need to flip all 26 Senate districts. They only needed one. So they targeted the districts with the thinnest margins, places where they barely cleared the 8% signature threshold required by law, and they zeroed in on Senate District 15 in Salt Lake County. As of Thursday morning, officials processed enough removal requests in Senate District 15 to drop it below that threshold. One district, that's all it took. The initiative fails to qualify. It's over. Now, if you're just tuning into this story, here's the 30-second version of why it matters. Utah voters approved Proposition 4 in 2018 to stop partisan gerrymandering, and Republicans have been trying to kill it ever since. They gutted it legislatively in 2020, but the Utah Supreme Court struck that down in 2024. They've also floated an indirected initiative to let the legislature, the same one that already tried to repeal the law, vote on another repeal, but their own lieutenant governor told them that was probably unconstitutional, so they dropped it. Then they tried this, a direct initiative to put the repeal on the ballot, and that just failed too. So what happens next? Could supporters of the repeal file a lawsuit? Maybe, but the Utah Supreme Court has already ruled that the signature removal process is legal, so that's probably a dead end. Could they try it again? Well, Utah law has a 2-year cooling off period after a failed initiative. The earliest a similar effort could make the ballot is 2030. But pay attention to this. Republican legislative leaders have already said they plan to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot this November, one that would give the legislature broad authority to override voter-approved initiatives. They tried this in 2024. It was called Amendment D, but it got thrown off the ballot because they missed the publication deadline and wrote misleading ballot language. They say they're going to try again in a special session later this year. But the bottom line this morning, the anti-gerrymandering law survives, the independent redistricting commission survives, but the fight is not over. Watch for that special session. That's where the next battle happens.